Hello from Ginos garden. It is day 20 in the garden, and we are going to take a quick view at all the vegetables. Yes, there's other gardens here, but we're sticking with vegetables right now. That was our two watchdogs. The snake had a little partner with him today. What we're going to do is we're going to start over here on our left. And this is our acorn squash. And as you can see, spring is definitely here and it is popping out of the ground compared to 10 days ago. Especially next to that is our cucumbers. I definitely have to thin that out. The cucumbers are going to be growing right over the broccoli, which the broccoli is right next to it right now. As you see, it's flowering. There's still some florets there, so we can still eat those. The rest goes to our fertilizer factory, which are the rabbits. Now we're going to come by here and check out our Brussels sprouts, which they are looking very healthy this year. They're at 35 inches high. If you get close enough, you can see them on the stalk. I have that on another video, so this is just a quick view. Next to the Brussels sprouts, we have a little basil in there. Basil grows like a weed in Gino's garden. Now here's our asparagus bed. And I did cut some this morning. So we have all new asparagus coming out. Let's get down here. There's one right there. They grow and they grow and they grow. They don't stop. Okay, leaving our asparagus bed. These are our Better Boy tomatoes. Again, if you don't remember, I do put plastic around the bottom of my tomatoes. And the only reason why I do that is called insurance. It doesn't cost a lot of money. But if there's a big storm that comes in, you're going to wish you had that up there. So it's a little insurance on my part. I used 2 rolls of plastic wrap, which came out to $4 or less. And as you can see here, this one here is having a little trouble growing. I think a bird snipped it and it's trying to regrow. So we're just going to keep an eye on that one. The one next to it didn't have plastic, but we didn't have any storm either. So that's growing as healthy as the rest. And when you go back here, see how they start going over the plastic? I know I have healthy plants. Now, coming down to the end, these are pepper plants. And these peppers, there's 4 of them. These last 4, 2 in this row, 2 in the other, they're red bell peppers. And next to that is, we do have another 4, but these are yellow bell peppers. And as you can see, they're getting a little taller. And my favorite, the rest of the row, is all jalapeno. And all these vegetables are great on the grill with your favorite protein. Everything in this yard's a carbohydrate, and they're all good for you. There again is the end of the Brussels sprouts, and the broccoli is flowering. We're going to turn our camera over now to this row here. It looks a little empty. They always take a little bit longer to come up. These are our royal purple beans. And as you can see, we have one coming out of the ground right here. And down the road, I think there's about 9 of them. They're actually just coming up. So those I had to give just a little bit more time. But hopefully this whole side, or this row, will be full of green. That's what we're looking at. So going down here, here's actually a stem of one right here. You can see it right there. So we're waiting patiently for our purple beans. Now at the end of each row, what I did is I planted a sunflower. So we have one there, one here at the end where the purple beans are. There's one. We have one here, and this is our squash. And as you can see from 10 days ago, it's jumping out of the ground. All right. The next row is our zucchini. Same thing with the zucchini. Some of them might have to be thinned out a little bit. That's okay. We can take care of that as everything grows. Again, all this little greenery you see next to the brick, what we have growing wild in our yard is basil. That's all basil. It's a weed here. There's our zucchini, and again, at the end of the zucchini is, of course, a sunflower. Now, our last row before the grape tomatoes, excuse me, we have a brand new sunflower coming up right here. Now on this side where it's dirt, that's all carrots to a certain point, and this side is all the radishes. Radishes usually come up in 3 to 5 days when you plant those. Now halfway down, they were carrots on the one side. As you see, we see a little bit of green row happening here. These are all beets. So they're only about 1 inch or 2 high, the beets. Right there at the end. So we have radishes and beets. Now, we go down to the last 2 rows. These are my favorite. These are the grape tomatoes. Now I'm going to show you on a video how to make the cages, 4 foot or 6 foot. These are all 6 foot high. There is 9 on each side, 18 of them all together. And as you see, I staked them up real well because in past experience with gardening, remember it's learning, that as you see, I staked it up on both sides, and then I had 4 foot stakes. You get a 2x4. When you cut it in half, instead of in half, you do it on a 45. So 1 2x4, 8 foot long, makes 4 stakes. Hit them in the ground, and then you use zip ties. Zip ties will secure it, and these cages, I'm shaking it really good, and you can see they're strong. They're going to hold the weight. Again, look at these grape tomatoes. They are coming over the plastic. Let me get down in here. Look at that. Healthy as can be, and they're actually starting to flower. Again, I keep the wood down for walking purposes and keep the weeds down. Why not? Work smarter, not harder. As you can see, look at those. They're coming over the plastic. Again, I might repeat myself, but I put the plastic down for insurance. One year we had a storm and all the tomatoes, well, they got beat up pretty bad, like they were in a fight. So, these tomatoes here, these grapes, they are going to be 6 foot high. I can't wait for y'all or you guys or everyone to see them. Again, at the end of the row, I planted a sunflower at the end of the row. So we're going to have a pretty garden. Once everything grows, we're going to have a pretty garden. And then coming down here, there is another little space. As you see, something's popping up next to the grape tomatoes, which are all sunflowers. The rest of the greenery is our weed, basil. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, they need to be 18 inches apart. 6, 7, 8, 9, Looks like it might be just coming out of the ground. We have a little movement, and 10. So, that's our great tomato area, and actually a view of the garden. And last but not least is our triangle garden over here. It's a little triangle. Again, I explained that before. I had to change the garden because we got too much shade over here. So I had to cut some of it off. I want to keep it at least 6 hours in the sun. Now, we have our strawberries are in pots that are cut off and they're in the ground. And as you see, there's a little greenery happening everywhere. Well, between the brick and the strawberries is onions. And then we have wood to walk on. And in between there, we have carrots and more onions. Here we have 2 grapefruit in Italian, these are 2 eggplants. And in Italian, that's called moulignons. And then over here we have a little lettuce and dill and sage that was from last year. I just kept it. So, you can see the rows are happening. Greenery, greener the better. Healthy eating to everyone. This is from Ginos Garden. Have a great day. Ciao, baby.